Yes, huh? Big gator here.
My name is Cyril Chauquet, and I spend my life traveling the world, chasing monster fish.
Oh my gosh.
And that's exactly why I'm here in Texas, in search of a huge prehistoric fish. Completely armor-plated, this fish is so tough, it can resist almost any predator. This is the famous Wild West, a place filled with snakes and alligators.
Once they start eating large mammals like that, it would be anything from being a man also.
And to catch this living dinosaur, it's gonna be a serious adventure. With scales so sharp, they were used by Native Americans to make arrowheads. And super sharp fangs. The alligator gar is definitely at the top of the food chain in the rivers of North America.
Watch your feet when I bring him on board. I'll stay between you and the fish, but they will bite you. I have the scars to prove it.
This fish has survived over 100 million years.
When I was telling you that those fish are dinosaurs.
But in the past century, it was almost wiped out by another top predator. Feared and misunderstood, the alligator gar was hunted down and massacred without pity. I've heard stories of alligator gar becoming so big that they've been confused with real alligators.
I don't want to spend too much time in this river. Big alligators.
I want to see these monsters up close.
I can't lose this fish.
And my ultimate goal is to catch the biggest one possible, alone and from the shore.
Look at this monster.
I'm here in Texas on a mission to catch a huge prehistoric fish, a beast that can grow bigger than me and actually longer than me. Imagine catching a fish like that in a river from the shore alone. That'll be the fight of my life.
I've been to the south before, chasing monster catfish.
With my hands.
It's called noodling, and let me tell you, it was pretty intense. So intense that my hands got mangled really bad.
My hand is totally destroyed.
But that's nothing compared to what an alligator gar could do. So if I catch one, I don't want my hands anywhere near their mouths. These fish can be pretty dangerous, but they're also endangered themselves, and I want to help protect them. So my first stop is the Texas Fishery Science Center to meet with an alligator gar specialist, Dan Doherty.
You must be Dan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to the facility.
In order to help with the preservation of the species, I've been asked to tag some monster alligator gar. But first, I need to learn how to do it without losing my fingers. Dan's assistant joins us to try and catch one of these giants.
What's your name? Ilana. What we're doing is setting the net so that we can catch an alligator gar because he wants to show me how the tagging is done so I can tag myself later on. Now it's a waiting game, right?
There are 5 types of gar in America, and the alligator gar is the biggest, with record sizes of 300 pounds and 10 feet long.
So why do you think that they have such a bad rep, you know? What makes them such a terrifying fish, you know, like in the mind of most people?
I think it's the teeth
The teeth, huh?
and the size.
And size, because
yeah.
they get humongous.
In the early 1900s, they were considered a nuisance fish or a trash fish. They weren't any good for market meat, and there were actually many programs in a lot of places to eradicate gar from systems.
Yeah, it's crazy because this fish, they've been around for what, 100 million years or so, right? And yet, in the last 100 years, we've almost decimated the species.
Yeah, it's
Which is
crazy
pretty
how
sad.
fast things can happen.
It's pretty sad, I'd say. Oh, we got something. Oh, we got,
Yeah.
looks like it. I think there's some movement in the line there.
There, you might get a splash.
Well, I think we're just about to see an alligator gar.
It's a gar, but just a baby, and it's the typical size they can catch in our nets. But Dan wants me to catch monsters, hopefully 10 times bigger than this one.
All right, first alligator gar I ever see.
Alligator gar can live outside the water using their air bladder to breathe, sort of like a primitive lung.
Whoa, look at the teeth on that thing.
Obviously, the bigger the fish, the bigger the bite. You got to be careful handling these. Everything on them is sharp, poke you, stick you, or cut you.
Wow, that's an amazing looking creature.
Yep, very prehistoric. It's almost 2 feet around and almost 4 feet in length.
4 feet in length. And yeah, that's still a baby.
Still a baby.
Pretty good sized fish would be a 100-pounder.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you want me to tag, right?
Big fish, bigger the better.
The bigger the better, huh? So how do you tag this guy?
We tag it right here at the base of the dorsal fin, just above the scales. Just insert the needle.
Push in.
Pull the button, pull the needle out, and the fish is tagged.
Shall we put him back in the water?
Yeah, let's let him go.
There are two reasons for tagging this fish. To help keep track of their growth rates and to find out where alligator gar travel throughout their lives.
Oh, you're a pretty slimy fish. He's put a lot of pressure on me. He wants me to catch a monster gar, not the little guys, you know?
This is it. I'm heading to the famous Trinity River. 700 miles of muddy water that still hides some huge gar. Some of these fish could be more than 7 feet long. But these wild animals are tough to find and even tougher to catch.
All right, let's go catch a monster alligator gar, alone.
The path is long and really rough along the river. And I have to keep in mind that while I'm looking for alligator gar, there's something else in the muddy water, watching my every move.
Hey, buddy.
I brought 3 rods with me in order to maximize my chances of catching a huge gar. But I only have 1 pair of hands, so I have to improvise some real fancy rod holders.
A good old carp head. Still have the brains in it, the eyes for maximum juices and odors. Takes a lot of patience to catch a monster fish, let me tell you. You know, the only thing I can do here is basically stare at the line, stare at the rods, hoping that that line will start peeling off that reel.
I've been waiting for at least an hour and a half, when finally, the line starts peeling off my reel.
I'm getting a good hit here.
Big gar are known for being wise and cautious, and they take the bait very slowly. So I need to choose just the right time to set the hook. Otherwise, I might lose this fish.
Here we go.
The thrashing gar is attracting the alligators. I need to bring this fish in quick.
It's a gator gar.
Now, the dangerous part. Although it's not the monster I want, I still have to tag and measure this gar. At any moment, this fish can spin around and bite me, so I put my gloves on to protect my hands from its sharp scales and fangs.
It's not a monster fish, but pretty decent sized fish. Oh, man, I'm stuck.
To tag this fish, I have to bring it onto the shore, and I'm afraid we're both gonna get muddy here. Plus, my feet are really stuck, so I'd better watch out for gators.
Nice. It's not a monster alligator gar, but it's a good sized fish.
Gar can breathe outside of the water, but I still want to put it back quickly to keep it healthy. And I need to hurry to tag and measure it. I really don't like the gators getting too close.
Now I gotta get a measurement on this fish. A length and a girth. If I can reach the measuring tape.
I'm trying to get a measurement of an alligator gar, and before an actual gator gets too close.
It's not like there's no alligators in this river too, you know. I don't want to sit here too long. 56 inches. My God, look at the hook. That is just a small fish. Totally bent it. All right, alligator gar, you're going back. Beautiful fish, beautiful monster. All right, buddy, you're going back. That was something. What a catch. That's my shoe right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a shoe. What a mud bath here.
I caught a nice alligator gar, but after being hunted for so many years, the monster ones have become really rare. So I've decided to go to Crockett City, named after the famous trapper David Crockett. I'm here to meet a professional gar fisherman who has the perfect boat to access the most remote stretches of the river. There, I really hope to find the real monsters I'm looking for.
Steve?
Hey,
How you doing?
great.
I'm Cyril.
I'm Steve Berkeley.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hey, that's your boat?
Yes, sir, that's my boat.
My God, that's a beast, man.
That is-
I hear you fish stretches of the river that basically no one else fishes,
yeah,
right?
some very remote stretches of river. Has some really big gar on it. Not many people get to fish it, so we've been catching some big ones. You want to come in and see some pics?
Steve's father, David, is also an alligator gar fisherman. They show me the huge gar I might encounter in the most remote stretches of the Trinity River.
In the 230, 240 range.
230 pounds.
I believe this is either 8.1 or 8.2. And
That is a monster. That's the biggest gar I've ever seen in my life.
I think it's on exhibit in the Dallas Zoo now.
That's what I want to catch.
I know.
David hunted alligator gar back when the fish was relentlessly slaughtered. Before I head out fishing with his son Steve, I want to ask him a few questions about this brutal period of gar history.
So, David, I heard you used to hunt for alligator gar?
Actually, we did more to eradicate them than we did to hunt them. We shot them with shotguns, and we caught them on hooks, and they caught them in nets and what have you, to the intent of diminishing the numbers to where the game fish were not so in peril, so to speak.
So now you like him?
Yes, we like them now because they are considered valuable.
David explains that although the alligator gar is still sometimes frightening to the locals, it's now respected as an apex predator that balances the ecosystem it lives in. Here we go. Steve's taking me to a spot so difficult to access that the only way to get there is by airboat. And out there, away from everyone, we're hoping to find some huge alligator gar.
That's a steep ramp there.
And that's one of the reasons I have a really exclusive access to this piece of river up here, is because I'm pretty much the only one that can get launched here.
No, I don't think anyone would want to launch here besides you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my style. I like that.
Let's go,
All right. True cowboy style. That's great.
I can't believe we're gonna launch a boat here. It's so steep, but at least it looks like Steve has a plan.
Because we'll get you to get in the truck
Yep.
and hold tension against it. When you hear me powering up, the easier foot off the brake, and I'll just gradually put the truck in reverse and I'll pull it backward. Well, let's see if this will work.
All right. All right. Now you're gonna understand what I'm talking about when I tell you that it's a powerful machine. Here we go.
There's something wrong with the engine.
Not sure what the heck's going on here, but I gotta find out.
That's exactly why I don't have a boat. I use other people's boats. I'd love to be able to do something about it, but honestly, I don't know much about mechanics at all. Well, I guess that's about as close as I'll get to the alligator gar today.
But we're not ready to give up yet. We're so close to the monster fish.
Lord, we thank you for allowing us to enjoy your bounty and let our repaired work go with us to keep us safe on the river. Give us a big fish. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right.
Go to crank now.
Oh,
Here we go.
Thank you, God.
This time, here we go.
Now, let's just hope we don't crash on the way down. We're almost there.
All right, Steve. We're in. Well, we made it. I had to put my shades on because this thing, was blowing so much dirt, twigs, branches, everything. I couldn't even open my eyes. I couldn't see where I was going.
The best spot for huge alligator gar is far down this rugged river. The power of this machine is unbelievable. and it's perfect for jumping from one section of the river to the next. Now, I can clearly understand why we need an airboat to get to these remote spots. I told you it'd be quite something.
This is a pretty good gar hole we're in right here. As a matter of fact, gar are already rolling out there like crazy. Hopefully we'll get a good hook up here and catch a big fish. Caught fish over 200 out of this hole before.
200 pounds?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On a bimini twist, that allows you to double the end of your braided line before you actually attach it to the metal leader. I tell you, it's not gonna go anywhere. You know what? Even if I was lost in the middle of the desert, I have nothing else to eat but this. I don't think I would touch it. It stinks so bad, you know, like you have no idea. It's awful.
But the stinkier the bait, the better the chances of getting the attention of an alligator gar. While we wait for a big gar to show up, Steve tells me how he got bitten by a gar right after he brought it on the boat.
Side, I had her on the deck of the boat, and I was standing there. I had just boated the fish for the client, and she just slung her head around and grabbed my leg, and only her top teeth penetrated my leg. So if she had actually been able to grip onto my leg with both jaws, then would have lost a large chunk of flesh there without a doubt. When we get a big gar on the boat, you know, we want to really handle that head with care. God didn't give them those teeth to eat moss.
Yeah, I know for sure. They're not vegetarian, right?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
There's some movement on the line.
Look, guys, I've got a gar on the line. Look, the line is peeling off my spool. He's taking off. He's taking off with the bait.
We don't want the gar to feel any pressure on the line, so Steve slowly drives the boat to the middle of the river.
He's under the boat.
There might be around some structure right there.
Now, I'm worried that the line might get cut by the prop of the hull, but the fish has already let go of the bait.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he chewed on it. Oh. Look at the puncture marks.
Big puncture marks there. Look at that.
That was a big fish too, right?
Looks like it was. We'll hook up another one, or maybe that one will be back to pick up, you know? He's hungry. He might have got a taste of it. He may be ready.
Some stinky carp fillet.
I really need to tag a big alligator gar, but they're pretty smart fish. This is not going to be easy.
Oh my God, look at the puncture marks on that one. Oh my God.
We're going to catch him.
Yeah, he chewed on it pretty good, you know? Had it for a long time. He just left us the skin.
Ah, he got all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Just left you the skin.
This fish are pretty smart, man.
That one beat us at our game, I think.
All of a sudden, I feel another gar on the line.
It's actually the first time I feel some tension on that line. There's a fish on that line. I'm about to set that hook.
He's getting brave. He stole a bait last time.
Yeah, all right. Here we go. Oh, yeah. All right, we're on, Steve. Oh, yeah, it's a good fish. Friends, we got a good gar on the line here. Yeah, he's right here. Oh, yeah, that's a good gar. Oh! It's a monster. Oh. How big is this fish, you think?
125.
125 pounds, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big fish.
Oh, look at that.
Big fish right here. He's just about to put a snare around the fish's head to be able to bring it on board. It's like a lasso, you know, basically, that we're gonna use to bring this fish on board.
All right.
This big fish isn't a monster one yet, but Steve knows how dangerous it can be.
Watch your feet when I bring him on board. I'll stay between you and the fish, but they will bite you, and I have the scars to prove it.
That's a monster.
Look at that. All right.
We did it, man.
Congratulations.
Good job, buddy.
Look out.
Suddenly, the gar spins around, and I remember what Steve told me about being bitten by a gar on his boat.
See what she did?
Yeah.
She turned around to you. She didn't turn away from you. She turned around to where she could get a bite at you.
My God, the alligator gar, what a beautiful animal. Now I understand why some people would confuse him with the reptile, the alligator, because the size, and plus the head looks very much like an alligator's. This fish is a dinosaur, really. That's what it is. It's been around for more than 100 million years. And that's most likely because of, its ability to actually breathe air in this body, this armor-plated body. And the fangs, look at the size of the fangs on that fish.
Now, I need to measure and tag this gar before releasing it.
5'7". 10.823. Let's put this fish back in the water, no?
Yep.
Pretty healthy.
Good job.
Man, good job to you. Good job to you.
That was a beautiful gar, but I know there are even bigger ones around here. But for now, it's getting late, and since there was a problem with the engine earlier, and also because we're really far down the Trinity River, we decided to call it a night and come back tomorrow for the monster fish. And now that we've made it back, we still have to get the 5,000-pound airboat up the steep slope.
Let me tell you, now we're gonna bring that boat up. You see how steep it is? He's gonna go full blast on the props there. I'm gonna help him with the truck. The cable is hooked up to the boat.
Steve's asked me to give it full power, but the airboat doesn't move an inch. It's stuck in the mud. And just when I'm starting to gain some ground, I hear an explosion.
That's no good.
When we finally get the boat up the hill, we realize that the engine's blown. There's oil all over the bottom, and the airboat is definitely out of commission for a while. Steve is a great guy, and he wants to take me out again to find monster gar, but he won't be today.
There's where the rod hit the oil pan from the inside. You can see where it knocked the hole in the oil pan. Actually, a piece of the rod came out, laying in the bottom of the boat, right there.
While I wait for Steve's boat to be repaired, he's put me in touch with another fisherman who knows where I can find some huge gar. On my way, I decide to stop at an alligator preservation park to meet with the owner, Charlie.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I want to see if it's actually possible to mistake a gar for an alligator, like David told me.
Have you ever heard of anyone mistaking an alligator gar for a gator, for the actual reptile?
Yes, I have heard of a few instances where people thought they saw an alligator and it turned out to be an alligator gar.
Are we close the gate, or shall we leave it open just in case we need to run? I think I'm gonna leave it open if you don't mind.
That's all right.
I'm actually pretty excited. Charlie doesn't let many people inside the fence to feed the gators.
Look at this guy.
Man, Charlie's pretty hardcore, and feeding gators.
Imagine some people actually mistake the alligator gar for the actual alligator. It's hard to believe because look at the size of this animal. I guess with a smaller alligator, if it's dark and you barely see where,
Yeah, in the dark it'd make a lot of difference.
in the dark, it'd make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
And if you have a quick peek at it,
Especially, alligator gar, 8 or 10 feet long.
yeah.
Now, it's my turn to feed this big gator.
On top.
Yeah, man, first time I do that in my life. A 1,300-pound alligator.
Let me tell you, if there are alligator gar big enough to be confused for an actual alligator, I definitely want to see one of those. But after decades of hunting, there's only a few big ones left. I would love to see a real monster up close and do my part to help conserve him, but finding one is not going to be easy. This time, I'm going to another section of the Trinity River with Dawson, the fisherman that Steve told me about. And just like Steve, Dawson knows that to catch huge gar, we need to go to places that are almost unreachable.
This is it, huh?
Yeah, this is it.
Should be pretty interesting. We're gonna have to bring a boat down this slope here. Check this out. It's pretty sketchy. The first slope, and we got a little bit of a plateau here. And then, there we go. Down there.
Once again, access to the river is steep and rugged. And we gotta move slowly so we don't tip the trailer. Luckily for us, everything worked as planned.
Went pretty smoothly, considering the slope.
All right, here we go on a hunt for monster gar.
This section of the Trinity River is fast and shallow,
A lot of stumps and logs on this river.
and there's branches everywhere. It's gonna be really hard to land a big alligator gar without breaking my line. But almost no one fishes out here, so it's the perfect place to find the monster I'm after.
That too much weight? Too much weight on the boat. We're gonna have to go back up. Didn't have enough power on this one, so we're gonna have to go faster through the rapids.
The rapids are really strong, and we can barely advance against them. We get pushed back again, so we have to take another run, with more speed this time. We made it through, and we're finally at Dawson's favorite gar spot. Let me tell you, it's pretty remote here. There's gotta be some big gar around.
Well, I think his rod holders are a little bit more advanced, technologically speaking, than mine. You know, like just the stick as a V-shaped stick. You know, that's what I use.
That's what we use for carp fishing, actually.
And that's a carp fishing rig. Just lay the rod there, and you have the line going through it. And as soon as there's a bite, you know, the fish starts pulling on the line. You get that noise, and that's the kind of noise we want to hear today. If that fish is not big enough to swallow that head, it's not the fish we want.
Bang. It's like throwing a rock in the river.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm ready. Now, we just have to wait. But not for long.
Fish on there. Fish on.
Very big fish.
This fish is big, but it's not an alligator gar.
Oh, big catfish, big flathead. Look at that.
Cyril, no joke, that's the biggest flathead I've seen around.
Really? That is a monster flathead.
It's not the monster gar I'm looking for, but it's a big flathead catfish.
Oh, yeah, noodle.
That is a monster flathead. And that's the kind of fish you want to noodle, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried noodling?
I haven't tried noodling.
Man, when they're fresh and you put your hand in the hole where they are, bang!
I don't really know about all that. I like to keep all my fingers.
Look at the scars on that fish still. It looks like he might have gotten bitten by a gar. If there's a gar in this river that will attack a fish this size, thinking it's bait, you know, I don't want to be even near that river.
All of a sudden, we hear the bite indicator go crazy.
So as soon as you have a bite, the idea is to get tight before you set the hook. Get tight, make sure you're in contact with the fish.
Fish on.
Pretty good one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good fish.
Yeah, huh?
Feels like it.
Acting like it.
Look at the size of this thing. Oh my gosh.
I have a huge alligator gar on the line, just the monster I'm looking for. It's fighting hard, and the problem is, I can feel my line rubbing against some rocks. That means it's getting damaged. This fish is powerful, and it's trying to get away in the rapids.
My line is pretty damaged. I don't want to put too much pressure on this fish because I'm afraid of breaking off. I gotta find a good place to land it.
The line has rubbed against a rocky ledge on the bottom, and has weakened. And now, the gar is using the rapids to get away. If I don't stay with it, I'm gonna lose this monster.
Yeah, I might lose it there. I don't want to lose it, man.
My line is damaged, and now I can't put too much pressure on it without breaking it off. This fish is smart, and it's trying to escape down the rapids, which is putting even more pressure on the line.
We're gonna get this fish, Dawson.
I don't have any choice. I need to follow it down the fast water.
I think it's good now. I think we should be able to land him here. I know, man.
I've never seen anything like running down those rapids after that.
I can't really do too much, man, because this line, I don't trust this line.
Oh,
no! No! Damn it! Damn. That was a big fish.
After all that,
We knew it!
that really sucks.
You know, the important thing is to keep a positive attitude about it. And, you know, still, it was a pretty cool fight. In a few years, I'll come back here and I'll say, Dawson, we gotta go back for that monster that's out there.
I just lost a monster gar. I'm running out of time. I really need to find and tag at least one big gar to help the biologists with their conservation work.
Working my way up the Trinity River, and on the way, I'll stop at the Texas Fishery Center. They have biologists there that are waiting for me, and they want the information, the data that I've collected on the fish that I've caught so far. And they were also telling me that they have monster alligator gar in a tank there. I really, really want to see that. I really want to see this fish.
I lost a big alligator gar. So while I drop off the data with Wayne, the resident gar specialist, I want to take this chance to get my first really close look at a massive fish.
Look, that's what I want to catch. This guy, this prehistoric creature.
Now, there's some pretty big gar in here. You sure you want to do this?
Yeah, they want to attack me, right? No.
We haven't had any yet.
Before I get too close, Wayne feeds the gar, just to show me how fast and aggressive they can be. This gigantic gar just bit a catfish, and now I'm gonna get in the water with him.
Oh man, I always love to swim with fish, any kind of fish. But here I'm about to swim with some monster gars, alligator gars. Fish that are over 200 pounds in here in this pond. Let's go check it out.
These fish are big enough to really hurt me if they wanted to, but in fact, they're not aggressive at all. It is sad that these giants were so misunderstood and massacred. They're really incredible animals.
What a great feeling swimming with such large predator fish. Unbelievable. And yet, not a sign of aggressiveness from these animals. They just swim around slowly, do what they have to do. I'm actually capable of getting really close to them and pet them. They have a tendency to stay away from me and swim away from me. So, in a way, they're more scared of me than I'm scared of them.
This is my last day in Texas, but Steve's airboat is still out of order.
Looks like we're not going anywhere. The engine's broke entirely. The entire thing is broken. That's why there's oil all over the place.
It looks like if I want to catch a big alligator gar, I'm gonna have to go by myself. And from what Steve's telling me, catching a really big one, alone and from the shore, is gonna be really tough. Steve shows me a path through the woods to a very remote spot on a small lake connected to the Trinity River.
It's a long walk in, though.
It's a long walk, huh? To the woods.
A long walk through the woods. You up for that?
Yeah, I can do. Especially if there's big gar at the end of it, I'll do the trek.
Yeah. Watch for alligators.
Alligators?
There's alligators in the oxbow and the river, probably more so in the oxbow. So you need to be very cautious along the river banks. While it's maybe unlikely that you would encounter an alligator like this, they do exist there. and they catch livestock along the river.
I'm on my way to catch and tag a huge alligator gar in the heart of Texas. Steve's freaked me out with stories of alligators eating livestock.
Once they start eating large mammals like that, it wouldn't be anything for them to eat a man also.
But I can't back out now. And to make things even tougher, the recent rain has overflowed the Trinity River, which means it's gonna be really hard to reach Steve's fishing spot. But the first obstacle I come to is a cliff.
Check this out, I can see it. The river is right there. But let me tell you, getting access to this river is almost impossible. Look how thick the woods are.
After thinking about it for a second, I decide to leave 2 rods behind to make this easier.
Now that means one thing though. I only have 1 rod, so just 1 chance of catching fish.
I'll get the rods on my way back. Now, I have to cross this big, overflowing river. I'm not looking forward to it, especially since I know there are alligators around here. And it's not just alligators I need to worry about. It's the current, too. I can barely touch bottom, but eventually I make it across. But I still have to keep an eye out for alligators.
I don't want to spend too much time in this river. Big alligators. I'm out of here. Yes, big gator here.
Steve was right. I gotta be really careful around these oxbows. They're home to more than just monster alligator gars. I just found a small lake, and I think it's the one that Steve told me about. A big gar just rolled in front of me. This has got to be Steve's spot.
Looks like there's some monster fish in here.
Here we go. Here we go.
Come on, fish.
Take this. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It broke me off. That was a giant.
There's some monster gar in this lake, but catching them is gonna be a challenge. There's branches everywhere. I'm gonna have to be really careful if I don't want to break off again.
You see, my line here is 90-pound braided line. And what I did is just tied a bimini knot, which allows me to double my line at the end of my main line. So that way, if this fish starts rubbing against some structure, some logs or stumps on the bottom, then I have 2 lines in case one breaks. And here, I'll tie on my metal leader and the hook at the end of it, the metal leader.
I can tell I have a massive gar on the line, but now I have to avoid breaking it off on the snags along the bottom.
Keep it away from the snags. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's huge.
This gar is even bigger than I thought. I have no idea how I'm gonna tag this monster by myself.
Oh my gosh. Look at this thing. Look at this monster.
At this point, I'm really not sure how to bring this big fish onto the bank to tag it without getting injured. But I gotta try.
When I was telling you that those fish are dinosaurs, I'm not kidding. Look at the size of that thing. It's gotta be 200 pounds.
My best shot is with the technique Steve showed me, using a lasso around its head. But the gar escapes into the weeds.
Swim it again.
I'm not sure where the gigantic fish is, and I could get bitten if I go too deep.
I don't like this at all. The fish went underneath the weeds here.
I've already had a big gar leap out of the water at me. And if this one does that, I'll never see it coming. Plus, I know that there are huge alligators around here. And finally, I find it. Now, I gotta quickly get the lasso around it before I lose it again.
Look at the size of this beast. That's exactly what I've been chasing. A monster gar, and I got one in my hands right now. It's gotta be over 200 pounds. That's a monster.
But I'm not finished yet. I still need to tag and measure this fish for the biologists.
My measuring tape is in the bag there. I think I'll use the rod though. That fish has gotta be 7 feet. 7 feet long, for sure.
My rod is 7'8".
Yes. Baby, you loose.
I was finally able to catch a monster gar from the shore and tag it. Mission accomplished. I came to Texas to find a living dinosaur, an amazing animal that doesn't deserve its bad reputation.
Look at this beautiful animal.
Almost completely wiped out, I found that instead of fear, this beautiful creature should inspire respect and admiration, and needs to be protected. The Trinity River was full of obstacles. The best spots was super remote and filled with predators. But I finally came face to face with the monster I was after.
Oh my gosh, look at this thing.
A fish I'll never forget.
Alligator gar, yeah. Are we close the gate or shall we leave it open just in case we need to run? I'm not sure I want to shake your hand now. Although I will because you're the gar master.
I guess they really do make everything bigger in Texas.